Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the current generation for the BMW M5 Competition. Huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this sedan for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This M5 is finished off in white, and they had a starting original MSRP of $105,000. Now underneath the hood, this has the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 600 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,300-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. It has a top speed of 163 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 20.1 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city, 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 117.4 inches. Its overall length is 196.4. It has a width of 74.9 and a height of 58 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this M5, let's talk about all the gloss black accents that are up front. So it's on the entire kidney grille, where this also has plenty of cutouts to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. There's a forward-facing camera. The M5 comp badge is over on that driver's side. And then there's a lot more gloss black in the lower section. There's the sensor in the middle for the adaptive cruise, and then large inlets on both sides, as well as all of the parking sensors too. And then this does have LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very nice thin housing. They match nicely with the edges of that kidney grille. The blacked out BMW badge is front and center, and then there's two lines that come down the middle of the hood, coming to a curve surrounding that BMW logo. And then some very nice lines and edges are in the lower bumper there. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 20-inch wheels that are finished off in gloss black. This also has the blue M Sport brake calipers. There's a competition badge just behind that with that trim accent. And then some very nice lines in the lower side skirt there. It protrudes slightly to give it some definition. Now, these side mirrors are power folding. They have the turn signal, the camera. They're finished off in gloss black. And of course, being the competition model, this has a carbon fiber roof. Now, the rest of the window trim is blacked out to give it a really nice look, and there's also a line at the height of the door handles there, running from that trim accent all the way to the taillights. And then in back, there's a very small gloss black spoiler with the backup camera, LED taillights. There's all the parking sensors, of course, more gloss black in the lower diffuser, and then there's even carbon fiber surrounding the exhaust tips for this particular model. Now, this does also have remote start, so let's triple tap on the lock button and bring this to life. And then you can triple tap on that lock button to shut it off as well. You can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to open up the power trunk too. Now, this is a practical family style sedan. There is plenty of space in the back. There's also some battery access on the left side with a net. There's a storage bin on the right side. No storage underneath the floor. However, you can fold down these back seats. So just pull those tabs on both sides, and that will give you a lot more interior space just to put in some larger items, just depending on what you need for the day. And then you can close the trunk. The one on the right side will lock the vehicle too. Now, when the vehicle does lock, this also has proximity sensors on the back door handles. So that way you can unlock it just by grabbing the door handle and you are ready to go. Now, also for the back, this does have the adjustable sunshades for both of the windows, just to give yourself a little bit more privacy. There's carbon fiber-like trim with the interior lighting just above that, and then brushed black chrome in that lower section there. This has the Bowers & Wilkins audio, more storage, and then leather for that entire armrest. The M logo is also an illuminating badge, and then there's the BMW color stitched on the seatbelts with the solid black leather seats. Now, at 5'10", I actually have a pretty good amount of space. There's storage pockets behind both front seats, air vents in the middle, all the climate adjustments, along with the heated seat controls, storage and auxiliaries down below. And then at my height, I have about an inch and a half between my head and the Alcantara. So I can sit upright and be comfortable. This is a good size sedan, so it's going to offer you plenty of space. Now, right in the middle with the armrest, there are two cup holders, and then you can also flip down this middle seat. So if you need to gain access to the back, you have the option to do that. This also has a rear shade, which is currently up at the moment. And as far as visibility goes, it's very open. The windows in the back are very large, so that gives you a lot of space. Now, as we work our way to the front door panel, it's just like the rear. However, there's the addition of lock and unlock, the massaging seats, memory seating adjustments, side mirror controls, and even the trunk release down below. And then a little bit more storage and the same materials. The front has the addition of Competition. So M5 Comp is the entire badge there. And then very nice leather seats that are automatic. So all those adjustments are down on the side. And then moving on to the full Alcantara steering wheel, there's a blue stripe up top, red stitching surrounding the inside of it, M badge down below. It is a heated steering wheel too. Let's fire this back up though and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, on the left side there's fuel along with miles per hour. Right side there's the tach and engine temperature, and then you have some info to go through using the button on the top of that turn signal stalk. So you can see some data information for the fuel as well as your tire pressure and temperature. There's also some other vitals as well as live readouts for horsepower and torque. There's a G-force meter, you have your news, even the different driving modes. So this is how the vehicle is currently set up. You can also pull up what gear the vehicle is in. There's a live readout for MPG, and then we're back to the initial setting there. Now with the driving modes that you just saw, this also has M1 and M2. This is how you can configure the modes. So these are shortcuts to have those driving modes ready to go. Cruise and adaptive cruise control settings are on the left side. Right side, there's also volume along with tuning, and then you have Bluetooth and voice commands, and then audio adjustments in the middle. And this does have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters finished off in brushed aluminum. Now on this left side, there's a small compartment down below where you can place additional items. There's the headlight adjustments along with parking lights, one air vent. More of the interior lighting is that strip at the top with the carbon fiber. This does offer a head-up display, so currently it's showing miles per hour and the speed limit sign. However, you can change that. Just go into M mode. That is going to change the entire tach to where now you have the gear and miles per hour, and then the tach on the left and the right. And it's going to bring up with a very large tach on the head-up display. So when you're doing some performance driving, that just gives you a little bit more that you can go through. You can also change it to sport and track mode as well. Now, if we come back to the infotainment system, this is the older screen that I'll call for BMW, but it's very easy to go through. We have the rotary dial down below with all these shortcuts too. So on the home screen, there's navigation, phone, you have setup, engine and tire data, and you can configure this how you'd like to. So you can rearrange those as needed. On the left side, these are all fixed. So you can get into your audio, get into your phone, pull up the nav. You can even get into car where you have a lot more to go through. So I'm going to use the rotary dial to further go through this information, where we have these sport displays, so you can pull that up as needed. If we go back into car, we can go down to drive menu. This is how you can configure M1 and M2. So these are the current settings for M1, and then you can also go into M2, of course, and put everything into efficient or sport plus. I will have those adjusted for the test drive. There's also vitals that you can monitor, a lot of different settings to configure for everything, just depending on what suits you best. And then you have driver profiles, owner's manual. You can even get into Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then of course you can use all the shortcuts down below to further get through all of that info. Now there's more carbon fiber underneath that, 2 air vents in the middle, along with a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So this is going to pull up some of the tech features that are available, and you can configure those to your liking. And then underneath that, we have all the presets, power and volume, as well as tuning. And then below that, there's a large LCD screen for all of the climate adjustments. So there's the fan speed, heated and ventilated seat adjustments. When you push on menu, that will bring up some more info in the upper screen there. There's also your temperature, recirc, where you'd like the air to go, nicely laid out. In the lower section, there's wireless charging with an auxiliary, 2 cup holders. You can also cover that with all of the carbon fiber, which is nice. And then over on the right side, all of those controls as I showed earlier. For this shifter, push it to the left and up. It is going to hold for reverse, where this has the 360 camera system. So you can pull that up and view around the entire vehicle. You can also use the gesture control as needed. drive is going to be down and to the right, and if you do that one more time, that puts you into sport mode, allowing you to use the paddle shifters. Now this also has the ability to change how slow or quickly you want the transmission to shift, which is a very cool feature. You can also shift using the shifter itself, and then park is located on the back. Now on the left side, there's traction control along with a setup button. This will put you into the different driving modes, so that way you can configure it as needed. There's M mode, which I just showed, also the exhaust note, parking sensors, a shortcut to the camera system, and then auto hold and the e-brake. And then with the split design for the armrest, you can open that up where there is an auxiliary, and then there's plenty of space in the glove box for all of that info. And then up top, there's the dome lights as well as a call button. This has the full Alcantara headliner, and then a look at visibility over both shoulders. With the pillars in the back being very thin, it's not all that bad. Even looking over this left shoulder, you can see all the way to the back. As we set off now behind the wheel for the M5 Competition, I get to drive a lot of the M3 competitions a lot. The M5s are a little bit harder to come by, so it's awesome that we get to take a look at basically this last year until we see the new year, which I'll talk about here in just a second. Let's drop it down to second gear and give it some gas here. Woohoo, you can hear a little bit of that turbo and of course the exhaust for this model, and that's not doing anything to its full potential. This is a very, very fun, performance-oriented sedan. It's larger than the 3 Series, of course, so the M3s that I drive a lot. A little bit more back seat room, which is nice. So if you want just a little bit larger of a vehicle, it's not going to be quite as nimble as the M3, but it's still going to be something that's going to handle very well for what it is. But now let's talk about the all-new BMW M5 real quick, because for the 23-year model, that is the last current model year like this for the BMW. The BMW for 2024 is going to arrive later this year in 2024, and we are going to get 2 variants for the United States. We'll get a sedan that will come first, and then we're also going to get the M5 Touring, which is the station wagon, kind of to compete with the AMGs from Mercedes as well as the RS6 Avant from Audi. That is something that other countries or other markets have had for a little bit of time now, and it will be coming to the United States market. So that is pretty awesome to see. I'm excited to see some of the design elements and changes for the next model year. But I just wanted to drive this M5 because we don't get to see them hardly ever. This might be in the handful of M5s that we've ever reviewed. Whew. Those shifts are lightning quick. I do have it in the highest setting there, which is something that I love about a lot of the BMW models that offer this adjustability. Because if you want to drive this kind of leisurely, you're doing a lot of stop and go traffic, maybe you're just stuck in rush hour or something like that, you can set this car up to shift accordingly so that way it is nice and smooth. And then when you're ready to, you're going on some back roads or the track, you can set it up. So see, it's not going to shift as quick because I put it all the way down in that lowest setting. But it's very cool to configure this to your driving for the day, so that way it can be even that much more comfortable and just give you that great ride. This has around 65,000 miles on it, so whoever bought this did a lot of driving with this car in a short amount of time. And one thing I want to cover is the Alcantara steering wheel. A lot of people avoid it because over time it can wear a lot quicker if that's something that you don't take care of. Personally, I don't think I would want to get the Alcantara steering wheel, but it feels really good. I like when I get to drive them. But this is a testament to it. 64,000 miles later, you can definitely see some wear to it. I'm not sure if the previous owner or owners did any treatment to it, but honestly, I don't think it's all that bad for having that many miles behind the wheel. It looks like it's been used, but honestly, I wouldn't really think twice about it. Obviously, you could reupholster it or get a new one, but it looks very nice for the mileage on it, as well as these seats too. I own a BMW myself, and a lot of comments on BMWs is their reliability. This one has 64,000 miles on it, and it looks like it's still going strong. I'm not sure the history on this one, but it seems to seems to be fine. Everything's in great condition. So, I mean, you can own BMWs for quite some time. I recently made a video about buyer's guides with the BMWs and things to look out for, reliability, all of that. So check out that separate video if you'd like to dive into more of those details. And from second gear, here we go. You can just hear those turbos spooling, and the shifts are very quick. So I love just how this drives, the power that it has. It has so much more potential, of course, than what I'm throwing at it today. But just the sound that this V8 makes, it definitely has a good grunt to it. But so this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the BMW M5 Competition. This is what the previous BMW technology has been for quite some time. So only for 2024 have some of the models started to integrate the newer curved screen, which is probably something that we will see for the next model year for this M5. But if you are a fan of this style, this should be the last year to get the M5 with this configuration. I think it still looks great. My BMW has this setup here, a little bit different shifter, of course, but I like this interior. And again, for the mileage, it looks very, very nice. So let's give it another acceleration. And we're up to speed. This is such a fun family style sedan. If you need some more, or you want a performance-oriented vehicle, but you have kids, you need room, this is a good option to go with. It's bigger than the BMW M3 Competition or the M3. So if you need just a little bit more, this is the one to go with. And I really don't have any issues with this. Like I said, I've been in the M3 several times. I drive those a lot. Honestly, I would probably go with a manual M3. You cannot get a manual option for the M5, so if that's something that you'd like, you just have to go with the M3. For this M5 though, you get a lot more power from the factory. So if you just want that performance, that power, you can't go wrong with the M5. But hopefully we will all be excited for the brand new BMW M5 Competition that is coming soon, as well as the variant for the station wagon. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Check out 704 Exotics. Their website will be down in the description below. And make sure you smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.